The full details of not full details, but just about all the details of the Broncos-Seahawks blockbuster trade are surfacing now. Ian Rappaport tweets out, the Broncos will receive Russell Wilson and a fourth-round selection. The Seahawks will get 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, a fifth-rounder, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, and Noah Fant. Your initial reaction when you see all that?
Sounds like Seattle got on the phone with Denver, and Denver said, hey, whatever the heck you want, you can have. We just want our hands on Russell Wilson. It's a lot of compensation, man. Look, they're not going to have a first-round pick or second-round pick for a long time, but I guess in the short term, they feel like Russell Wilson's going to cover that gap. You pair him with Tim Patrick and Jerry Jeudy, and obviously they have a young tight end that they're very high on. So it's a tough one, man. It's hard to really tell who wins these trades. Obviously, when they first go down, you kind of have to let this thing play out and really see if Russell Wilson can really get this team to a Super Bowl. But I think just at first glance, it's a lot to give up for a quarterback that's 33 years old. But for the Broncos, that's what they've wanted to do. They had a lot of success with that with Peyton Manning. So I feel like they'll turn that again and try to do the same thing with Russell Wilson.
33 is just not what it was 10 years ago. Now, you look at Matt Stafford, who had just gotten the tar kicked out of him for years and years and years over there in Detroit. So it's not like he had, not like he had easy going over there. He was 33 when he was traded. And same deal with Russell Wilson, who's a little more athletic than Stafford, although Stafford's a better athlete than you give him credit for. I think Russell Wilson's still got 6 years of really good football left in him. Now, I don't know if the Broncos are going to go all 6 of that or if he wants to play for 6 more years, but you figure we'll start there and we'll build around it. Like you talked, they've still got some players. When you talk about the Seahawks, we'll take the 4 draft picks that you're giving me. We'll swap another one, so that's not a straight give up. But then we'll take defensive lineman Drew Lock to hold the place here until we can figure something else out. I think it makes a lot of sense for both teams. Is the Broncos roster – well, I know the answer to this question, but I guess I'll rephrase it. How close is the Broncos roster to what the Rams had?
Ooh. I would say maybe a year or 2 away. I think they're close. You can point to some really, really talented guys. I think the Rams the thing that made them over the top is you got a player that you can point to that's the best in football. And you start there at multiple positions. When you look at the cornerback position, at the defensive line position, I can't really point to someone on the Denver Broncos that I feel that highly on. But even with that being said, I think you get Russell Wilson, who to me is a top 10 quarterback. Some people will say top 5. You bring that to a team that you felt was on the verge. Now you're challenging. So I think for them, there's still a few pieces away to really people start saying, hey, that's my Super Bowl favorite right there. But you get the quarterback, it definitely helps your franchise out a ton.
It's certainly a good place to start, that's for sure, to have Russell Wilson back there. And specifically for the next 3 years, you figure you can expect elite level play from him, which is more than most of the league can say. I think there are probably more really good quarterbacks in the league than people like me would care to admit. I mean, there's just a lot of guys who can amass a lot of yards, who may not be right on the tip of our tongues. But when you start to look at some of the statistics that like Tannehill put up a couple of years ago, and you look at what Kyler can do, and some of the guys that aren't necessarily right at the top of the list with your Rodgers and your Mahomes and Russell Wilson, still win with some of these other guys. But to have Russell Wilson is a huge feather in the cap for them. But the way I tease this segment, I wanted to talk about what it means for the Saints. I don't think anyone sincerely believed the Saints were on the precipice of getting Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. It wasn't that talked about. But it does change your tune when you realize the 2 options are off the table. Now, our inclination all along has been they're going to figure something out with Jameis Winston, but there are still some teams very much in the quarterback market, the Saints being one, and Jameis Winston's free to look around. So is it at this point Jameis or bust? Or should I put Jameis or draft?
Yeah, it's starting to look that way. I mean, you can. I think for the Saints, I think Jameis is the most realistic option. But for Jameis, he may want to, move on to the next situation, or maybe feel like his talents would be better used elsewhere. So for the Saints, that kind of, puts you in a bind a little bit. Now you gotta probably go into the draft again, where you just took Ian Book last year and you thought maybe you had something there, but based off of what you've watched so far, you don't know how much is left in that well. So the Saints are going to have to, get moving pretty quickly here. Free agency's right around the corner, and not really too many free agent quarterbacks that you can point to say, hey, this is going to be our franchise quarterback. Let's see, man. It's tough. If they don't somehow find a way to land Jameis, I think they're definitely going to be spinning some wheels trying to figure some stuff out.
This is the analogy that I kind of thought of as I was considering this whole carousel deal. When Jameis came to New Orleans, he was essentially entering a cocoon. He had Sean Payton right there talking through plays, game plan, and he had Drew Brees right there carrying the load. And all he had to do was sit there and watch and basically, hibernate. And then whenever it's time to spread those wings and fly, you spread those wings and fly. Now, obviously, the wings got clipped last year because he got hurt. But is he ready to fly? Is he ready to go somewhere else? He's done his time in New Orleans. He's rehabilitated his in-league reputation, not off the field, well, although a little bit, but more so just on the field as a guy who doesn't have to force the ball 7 times a game and throw 3 picks every time out there. Production wasn't quite there, but he didn't turn it over as much. Or is the market not that strong, and you figure he's kind of carved out his home here, and you still got Pete Carmichael there, and you still got Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara and some of those offensive linemen he's known for a couple of years, and you want to stick around. I think it's just speculation at this point, but there's something to be said for both ends of that. Is it time to spread your wings, go sign a deal with somebody else for 4 years and whatever million? Or is it New Orleans has kind of become home?
Yeah, I think that's a question only Jameis really knows, but I think from the outside looking in, it looks like that, especially when he went down last season. All of his teammates embracing him, just how excited he was after that game when they found a way to win that football game, and him celebrating in the locker room on crutches with his teammates. So he's very tapped in with those guys. I think they do believe in him as a starting quarterback. Especially the way they played in the first game against Green Bay, who we saw go on to, be really dominant, be the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. So I think for the Saints, hopefully that isn't that much interest in Jameis from other teams, and that way you got the quarterback that you have seen in this offense not turn the ball over and kind of be that guy who, we're not going to put him in harm's way. He's not going to drop back and throw it 50 times a game. We can get this guy to make a couple big-time throws a game and really depend on Alvin Kamara, and now he's going to have Michael Thomas back. I think that's the best direction for the Saints to go.
We shall see. Free agent wheel is a-turning. Aaron Rodgers headed back to Green Bay. Russell Wilson traded to the Denver Broncos. The Saints will have to look elsewhere for their quarterback for 2022.
Thanks so much for watching Hunt Hill on YouTube.
Now do us a favor. Hit the red subscribe button below and throw us a like. We'll see you next time.